Beautiful day, huh? Freaking windy as hell. I noticed my whole street got tore up. I probably had 7 branches on my driveway. I actually had to get out and move one. Hoping I get some calls for chipping brush. I'd like to go chip some brush just for fun. Yeah, make some money. Make some money. I've been pissing through money, so which is a good thing. I've been using it usefully though. Usually I don't, use it so usefully. I've actually been using it to get stuff. Something to show for it. Which in my life, a lot of it, most of the money I've spent over the years never showed for itself. That's for sure. Went from my hand to another hand that was pretty grimy, and usually, now I'm supporting local businesses. Hey, guy up in a tree hooking trees on hooks. Yeah, brother. I always love seeing guys hooking trees. I love a boom lift and shit, but there is a use for hooks, though, man. I don't know. I spent a long time humping fucking trees. Yeah, you look good up there. You look like you know what I'm doing. From the 4 seconds I drove by. You'll stop by on the way back and shoot shit. What it is, usually you see these guys, yeah, it's a Saturday. He probably works for some company. Tree guys do their side work on the weekend, too. Usually Saturday they're out making their extra couple bucks. Fridays for the men, Saturdays for the fucking climber. Monday through Thursdays for the company, Fridays for the men, Saturday and Sundays for the climber. You get their little side digs. Unfortunately, for the homeowner who's hiring the guy on the hooks, usually they end up losing out, to be honest, from my experience. If you got a little job, it's alright, A lot of people used to always be like, how much to put it on the ground? It's like, putting it on the ground. And then you tell them, they're paying $300 versus, $1,500. But then they have to clean it up, and that's the hard part. Doing a whole job and everything without a chipper and stuff's a lot of work. So I've done a lot of them. I've rented U-Hauls before to haul off brush. Ended up working for about fucking I've worked for $7 an hour many times. Probably, man, I don't know, maybe a little more than that, but yeah, I've done a lot where it's, done a lot of jobs where at the end of the job you're going, that was not worth it. That's how you learn. Still this day, there's a lot more tree guys around now than when I started. After that October storm, a lot of guys started doing, October storm 10 years ago, whatever. A lot of companies started doing tree work. And it became a business of mechanizing, though. Machinery and stuff like that. There used to be a lot of tree companies, but they had a chipper, a little dump truck, maybe a skid steer, some of them, And now they're literally out there. They got log trucks, chippers that'll fucking chip 2 telephone poles at a time. Log truck, freaking morels and stuff. There, they go up and they sit in a machine and take down the whole tree right from a machine. The last guy I worked for bought one. It's actually what made me really just hate tree work. Tree work became so boring and monotonous, I couldn't even do it anymore. It was just like the machinery did all the work. Went from going from the ground up the tree, cutting the tree down, back down to the ground to get rid of it, to literally dangling from a crane. Crane would take me up the tree, and then the crane would literally rig it down, to me standing on the ground with a chainsaw and a log truck taking the whole tree down, and I was just there to make a cut here and there on the ground in the heat, just standing in the sun baking with a fucking log truck. And we didn't even chip it. We just threw it in the back of the log truck. And I wasn't even a tree guy anymore. all I was is a freaking laborer. All I was a laborer that made a chainsaw cut once in a while. It sucked. I drove a truck around. It was horrible. Long days, horrible. No, I lost interest in it. No, I never, yeah. But yeah, now if you're gonna do tree work, you have to have that stuff. You can't even compete with can't even compete with that. We were doing like $5,000 jobs in a day, $5,000 taking out 4 or 5 pine trees that were like, normally would have took like 3 days, and not to mention getting rid of the logs would have been like a whole nother story. To literally one day you got 3 jobs into the back of the truck, gone, bye. Can't compete with that. But yeah, that's why literally he had to make $5,000 a day to pay for all that equipment. That's the crazy part,
More music and
It sucked. But yeah, that's why tree work just became a thing you used to do. See you anyway. Bye.